last week as well as to how the Bank Nifty is already down 13% in May and some more weakness coming through. I'll come back to you later to discuss the markets, but for now let's get some guests on board to discuss the stimulus package that came in from the finance minister and the impact it would have on different industries. The auto sector is in focus. We have Dr. Pawan Goenka of M&M who joins in first up, and in a bit we'll get the management of Escorts as well. Gentlemen, thank you to both of you for being with us on the show. Dr. Goenka, I want to start with you first. What did you make of the finance minister's stimulus plan over the last 5 days, and would you be disappointed that there is A, no demand stimulus as such, and B, nothing specifically for the auto sector? Okay, I think we can't get through to Dr. Goenka, so I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to toss the same question to Bharat Madan of Escorts as well. Remember, Escorts came out with their numbers last week, and the commentary that the management put out in the conference call was also optimistic. Bharat, good morning. Slightly different question to you, because you did mention that you're expecting tractor demand to recover in Q3 of FY21. Tell us, what is the situation on the ground at the moment? And when you talk about recovery, what kind of growth would you be looking at this year?
Well, sorry, I think it's very difficult to talk about the growth number as of now, but we're looking at the way the demand is coming back in the rural market, which is largely unaffected so far, fortunately for us. So we're looking at, like, for example, today retail now numbers are already touching now almost 50-60% of the normal level, and we expect maybe June we'll see a good demand again coming back. So maybe June we will see a normal month like last year. And maybe Q3 onwards, like Q2 onwards, July to September, will be a season where the build-up will happen and there's a good monsoon. So we think, I think June to October period is what we have indicated should be actually the period of growth for the industry, because the first 2 months are in any case a wash down and industry has lost 70,000-80,000 tractors in volume. So some kind of demand is there which will come back in the next coming 4-5 months.
All right. We've got Dr. Pawan Goenka back on the line. Dr. Goenka, good morning.
Good morning.
First thoughts as a representative of India Inc., the 5 episodes of the packages are out. Where does that leave you? Do you feel a little left out that there isn't much concrete help?
Well, let me first appreciate the effort that has been put in by the Government of India in giving a very comprehensive package for economic reform post-COVID-19. It has some short-term measures for survival. It has some medium and long-term measures which are more structural reforms. And in my view, the government has done what many companies are doing, that never to let a crisis go to waste. And therefore doing things that it wanted to do perhaps and couldn't do in the past in structural reform, and taking care of that. Now, if I was to look at from industry's viewpoint, I think the supply side, as everyone is saying, is very well taken care of by putting in measures for MSME, which was always the biggest concern, by bringing in a lot of credit liquidity measures and so on. But the demand side remains untouched in large way. And that's what almost everyone is talking about. The view that government has taken is there are limitations on what can be done through fiscal measures, and they have done to push supply side, and hopefully demand will take care of itself. From my viewpoint, if some measures were taken, and I do realize that demand side does cost a lot of money, but if some measures could have been taken, very specific to specific sectors where some kind of GST reduction or whatever else would have helped, I think that would have given a sort of kick start to the economy, because India is a consumption-based economy. 60% of our economy is consumption. And if consumption does not come back, all the other efforts that are being taken will come to naught. But I must appreciate that amount of effort that has gone into looking at many different aspects of economy and trying to do the best that can be done within a constraint that obviously government has on how much can be spent on this time. Particularly, I'm very happy with agriculture, very happy with MSME, very happy with the structural reform in terms of, let's say, PSU, in terms of what's been done in agriculture, and many other areas.
Yeah. No, I take your I take your point, sir, that there is an administrative and a financial nightmare simultaneously for the government. So bandwidth would be stretched. But I wanted to ask, I mean, I'm sure Sonia has a lot more questions about, the stimulus itself or the lack of it. But I wanted to ask you, how much are you already, working? Some parts of your plants, like Kandivli, is falling in still the containment or the red zone, but some places in Nasik may be functioning. How much are you working as a percentage, and what are the roadblocks? Are they cash flows by any chance, or is it demand? What are your roadblocks now?
Lata, I would say that things are coming back to normal little faster than what I would have envisioned.
Oh, good.
Okay. For example, as on today, all plants throughout India are operational. We have almost 30 different locations of plants, warehouses, and so on. Everything is operational. We have about 25% or so of our employees working now, and about 25%. Obviously, we are taking care, very, very careful about all the guidelines that are there for ensuring the health and safety of employees. We have started production. We are made a little bit faster progress in tractors, because tractor plants started before automotive plants, since tractor was essential commodity in some states. And automotive started just last week, and they're picking up. The good thing is that the government has given permission to all the suppliers slowly that supply to our plants. And I think as on today, about, I would say 80-85% of our suppliers are working, and the supplies have started. It's going to take time, but I'm happy to say that the wheels have started moving. The dealers, about 2/3 of tractor dealers have opened up, about 1/3 of automotive dealers have opened up. The demand on the agri side is a little bit more robust than on the automotive side. Again, because agri is very attuned to the Kharif season coming in, and all farmers want to be ready for the sowing and soil preparation season. Automotive will take a little bit more time because they just started, and people still have to gauge what's going to happen to the economy, what's going to happen to their income levels or guarantee of their income levels. But if I was to summarize, I would say that 2 weeks after partial opening up, I'm a little bit more positive than I was, say, 2 weeks ago. And I hope that there is no relapse, in the sense that I hope there is no sort of increase in the COVID-19 cases that happen. And the kind of opening up that has happened again with COVID, with lockdown 4.0, if that continues, maybe in about a month's time, we'll be back to normal on the supply side at least. I'm still a little concerned about demand side, but on the supply side, we should be back to normal in about a month's time.
Okay, Dr. Goenka, good morning. So on the supply side, you've given us a lot of details on how things are panning out. On the demand side, you said 1/3 of your automobile dealerships have now opened up. But what is the situation on the ground in terms of demand? Are you just servicing the inquiries that were, and the bookings that were made pre-COVID, and those deliveries are being done? Or are you seeing some fresh demand come through as well? And if yes, in which pockets?
I think mostly we are closing in on initial inquiries because you have to understand that right now, with all the restrictions that people have and personal, of course, concern that people have about them getting infected, nobody would want to come down to the showroom to kind of look at a car. Whatever is happening, mostly is happening online, and very little showroom traffic. But online, things are moving, and I wouldn't expect a lot of fresh demand to happen in the month of May or even in the month of June for automotive. But if we are just able to service the demand that we had, and that would keep us reasonably busy with the supply side. As I said, the supply also will take time. It won't be 0 to 100 in 1 week or 2 weeks. It's going to take a month and a half. The tractor side, again, is very robust because of the season coming in. Automotive, certain pockets of or certain kind of vehicles. I mentioned that last time also, that vehicles like Bolero, Scorpio, which generally feed into the rural economy, the pickups that we have, which are generally used for movement of small batches of goods, those are in good demand. and there's a lot of inquiry that's happening for this. And I think with the package that has been announced, the rural economy must feel very sort of positive, very optimistic about what's going to happen in the next 3 months. And I would think that all products, whether it is automotive products or tractor products, that feed into rural economy should do well. I think we have to give automotive 1 or 2 more weeks before we can kind of find out how the sentiments are, because we just started last week in automotive. Tractor has been about 2 weeks.
All right, Dr. Goenka, I have one more question for you on defense, but before that, 2 distractions. One is the market. I mean, it's 4% down on the Nifty Bank and on almost 2% on the Nifty. We've given up 9,000. So there is a bit of a finance trouble over here. Financial stocks are the ones taking the pasting. But of course, the whole financial market will respond, and the equities are doing that. I wanted to, Mr. Goenka, one of the biggest takeaways that you're giving us is that the demand comeback is faster than you thought. Bharat Madan, you share that? Are you surprised by the springing up of demand?
Yes, I think if you look at, like you say, even in our case, for example, 65% dealerships are open, but the leads which we are getting, the inquiries which are getting to the dealers, so it's almost touching 80-90% level of the normal level. So obviously we are seeing the good pickup happening now, and we expect maybe in a month's time we should have actually going back to the normal levels.
Thanks, Bharat, for joining us. It's just that the markets are compelling, and now it's a 4.5% cut on the Nifty Bank.